How do you build one of the world's longest road tunnels right under a bustling European capital? And why has Stockholm been waiting 15 years and counting for it to be finished? This is the story of Forbifart Stockholm, or as most of us know it, the Stockholm Bypass, the ambitious megaproject designed to untangle Sweden's worst traffic nightmare. But what's really behind the delays, and is it worth the wait? Stick around as we uncover the challenges, controversies, and future impact of this colossal underground highway. Before we navigate the twists and turns of the Stockholm Bypass, subscribe to stay updated on more great videos from Design Zip. Before we show you what makes this project so ambitious and so fascinating, you need to understand why there was even a need to build the Stockholm Bypass. So, let's talk about the problems first. You see, Stockholm's traffic problems start and end with the Essingelden, which is a major highway that has been the city's main north-south connection since it opened in 1967. Back then, it was designed to handle about 80,000 vehicles a day. Today, it is carrying double that on a typical weekday. Yes, 160,000 vehicles on a highway meant for half that load. And guess what happens when you push a road that hard? Traffic jams, endless delays, and constant repairs that only make things worse. It used to be a vicious cycle that Stockholm desperately needed to break. The real issue is that Stockholm sits on a narrow strip of land squeezed between Solsjön to the east and Lake Mälaren to the west. That means there's only so much space for roads, and expanding Essingelden was not exactly an option. Every little disruption, like a minor collision or a bit of bad weather, could paralyze traffic for miles. Also, there was the sheer wear and tear on the road surface from all that traffic. It is not hard to see why the situation was becoming unsustainable. Stockholm was not just dealing with local traffic either. A lot of those cars were transit vehicles, passing through the city on their way north or south. As a result, the city centre was gridlocked most of the time. Now, the idea of a bypass is not new. Planners have been sketching out solutions since 1966 with various concepts, maps, and ambitious ideas. There were three main proposals back then, all designed to create routes that avoided the city centre. The current Stockholm Bypass is essentially a modern version of the outermost route from those original plans. But it wasn't until 2005 that the project got serious attention again. An investigation by the Swedish Road Authority presented three possible solutions. They suggested Forbifart Stockholm, Diagonal Ljusvunda, or a combined option with elements of both. After weighing the pros and cons, the authorities went with the first option, Forbifart Stockholm. It promised to move transit traffic out of the city centre and ease the burden on the Essingelden. It sounded like a win-win. But not everyone thought so. The project started a political tug-of-war. Major parties like the moderates, Social Democrats, and Central Party supported it, emphasizing the need for better traffic flow, reduced travel times, and improved access to northern and southern suburbs. But environmental groups and parties like the Greens were not convinced. They argued the bypass would just encourage more car usage, increase carbon dioxide emissions, and cost a fortune, all without addressing Stockholm's long-term traffic needs. While some had their concerns, this project still got the green light and construction started in 2009. So, what happened next? Why is it taking too long to finish this mega project? Stockholm Bypass was never going to be a simple project. After all, they decided to build a 21-kilometre highway, with 18 kilometres of it underground, through the granite bedrock of Sweden, right below one of Europe's busiest cities. The plan was ambitious from the start, But as you will see, the journey from paper to reality was never smooth. When the Swedish government gave the green light to the project in 2009, the estimated cost was 27 billion Swedish krona, aka $2.5 billion. The bypass would start in Kungenskurvan in the south, go underground through Lurven, pass under the Grimstad Nature Reserve, and continue alongside Regional Road 275 before finally resurfacing near Häggvik in the north. But, as we know now, things didn't exactly go according to plan. As you know, 2024 is almost over, and the project is far from finished. The real digging didn't start until 2014, which means there was a 4-year delay right off the bat. The plan was revised with a new completion date of 2026 and a new budget of 34 billion Swedish krona, or $3 billion. But even this updated schedule turned out to be optimistic. The actual tunnel excavation only got underway in 2016, which added yet another delay. Building this tunnel system was never going to be easy. Workers had to deal with 22 million tons of rock and sand, and every metre of the tunnel presented new challenges. Here is how they did it. First, the workers drilled into the project to inject cement and water, sealing off cracks to prevent flooding. Then, more holes were drilled and filled with explosives, and the blasted rock was scraped out to carve the tunnel space. After that, the tunnel was lined with rock bolts, sprayed with concrete, and cladded to ensure stability. Massive ventilation systems were also installed for worker safety and to prevent for emergencies like fires. But the rock beneath Stockholm was not consistent. Some sections were made of weaker rock that needed extra reinforcement, while others required meticulous sealing. These varying conditions slowed down progress over time. By 2019, the project hit another major obstacle. Delays in tunnel construction and workplace safety violations caused the Swedish Transportation Administration to cancel contracts with a big contractor. At this point, the completion date was pushed back to 2030. And let's not forget the flood that occurred in 2021. 20,000 cubic meters of water seeped into one section of the tunnels. The flooding caused significant setbacks. This is one of the reasons it is so challenging to tunnel through unpredictable underground conditions. On top of all this, politics kept getting in the way. After the groundbreaking ceremony in 2014, a new government briefly stopped construction to debate the project. This political pause delayed things even further. The costs kept climbing too. From the original 27 billion Swedish krona to the current estimate of 37 billion Swedish krona, the project has become one of the most expensive infrastructures to be built in Swedish history. If the delays and budget issues were not enough, the project also faced backlash from environmental groups. The tunnel runs under sensitive areas like the Grimstad Nature Reserve and Lovron. This made people concerned about the environmental impact of this megaproject. Legal challenges further slowed progress, forcing the Swedish Transport Administration to jump through hoops to keep construction moving. Today, the Forbifart Stockholm is expected to open in 2030. This will be 20 years after the original start date. By then, Stockholm will finally have its long-awaited bypass. So, will it be a success? Well, opinions are divided, and it's easy to see why. By the time it opens in 2030, Stockholm will have grown even more, and the city's needs might look very different from when the project was first planned. Let's see what people are saying. Supporters of Forbifart Stockholm believe it is going to be a game changer. They argue that the bypass will improve traffic flow, especially for people travelling between the northern and southern suburbs. By diverting transit traffic out of the city centre, Stockholm's main north-south highway will finally get some breathing room. This could reduce travel times, cut down on congestion, and make commuting far less stressful for thousands of drivers every day. Another argument in favour is how the bypass will support Stockholm's growing population. As more people move to the city and its surrounding areas, the demand for better infrastructure keeps increasing. The Forbifart Stockholm could provide a vital link for future generations. This will help the city handle their increasing number of vehicles. There's also the economic angle. Improved traffic flow could benefit businesses, especially those relying on efficient transportation for goods and services. Some argue that the bypass is a long-term investment, and while it is expensive now, it will pay off over the decades by boosting productivity and reducing costs associated with traffic jams. But not everyone is convinced. Opponents of the project argue that it is a short-term fix that does not address the root of Stockholm's traffic issues. They point out that a big portion of the traffic on Essigolden is not even transit traffic. It is local traffic heading to and from the city centre. Diverting transit vehicles might help, but it won't solve the broader problem of congestion caused by local commuters. There's also the environmental cost to consider. Critics worry that the bypass will encourage more people to drive, which will lead to higher carbon emissions and undermine Sweden's goals for a greener future. They argue that the focus should have been on expanding public transport, which could move more people efficiently without increasing pollution. And then there is the question of cost. Forbifart Stockholm is one of the most expensive infrastructure projects in Swedish history. Opponents wonder if the money could have been better spent on alternatives like improving trains, buses or cycling infrastructure. So, whether Forbifart Stockholm will be seen as a success depends on how well it meets the city's needs in 2030 and beyond. It might ease congestion and improve connectivity, but critics are right to question if it is enough to keep up with a rapidly growing population and the push for sustainability. For now, Stockholmers will have to wait and see if this megaproject truly lives up to the hype. So, that's how Stockholm is building one of the world's longest road tunnels, navigating delays, controversies, and engineering challenges along the way. What do you think? Will the Stockholm bypass solve the city's traffic problems, or is it too little, too late? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, show me some love by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.